You know what keeps me up at night? Watching my neighbor pull out massive cabbages in December while I'm still nursing seedlings that should have been planted weeks ago. Here's the brutal truth nobody talks about. October isn't just another month in the gardening calendar. It's the month. Miss these plantings, and you're literally throwing away 6 months of potential harvests. And I'm about to show you exactly which 18 vegetables will make you either a hero or, well, let's not go there. Stick around because number 12 literally saved my winter grocery budget. Hey there, garden friend. Welcome back to Serene Green Gardens, where we keep your garden thriving without emptying your wallet. If you're new here, you've just stumbled into your new favorite corner of YouTube, where gardening actually makes sense and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I'm so glad you're here, because today we're diving into something that's going to completely change how you look at fall planting. Before we jump in, do me a quick favor. If you're serious about getting ahead in your garden and you don't want to miss these critical planting windows, smash that subscribe button right now. And here's why this matters. October planting is time sensitive. Every day you wait is literally money and food left on the table. So hit that notification bell too, because I drop these seasonal guides exactly when you need them, not when it's too late. All right, let's get into this because we've got 18 game changers to cover. So here's what's happening in October that most gardeners completely miss. While everyone's busy mourning their summer tomatoes and putting their gardens to bed, there's this magical window opening up. The soil is still warm from summer, but the air is cooling down. And certain vegetables, they absolutely thrive in this exact combination. It's like nature designed October specifically for these plantings. Vegetable birth 1. Let's start with garlic, and I know what you're thinking. Garlic, really? That's not uncommon. But hold on. Here's what nobody tells you about October garlic planting. This is literally the difference between bland supermarket garlic and the kind of garlic that makes your neighbors ask what your secret is. When you plant garlic in October, you're giving it time to develop roots before the ground freezes. Come spring, while everyone else is just thinking about garlic, yours is already established and sizing up. But here's the kicker that saved me hundreds of dollars. 1 pound of seed garlic, which costs maybe $15, gives you enough cloves to plant about 40 to 50 heads. By summer, you're pulling out garlic that would cost you at least $150 at any farmer's market. The trick? Choose hardneck varieties for cold climates and softneck for warmer zones. Plant each clove 4 inches deep, pointy end up, 6 inches apart. That's it. You just invested $15 in a 6-month return that keeps giving because you can save your own seed garlic for next year. This is what I mean by getting ahead. Vegetable number 2, next up, spinach. And before you zone out thinking this is basic, let me tell you about overwintered spinach because this changed everything for me. October planted spinach does something incredible. It germinates quickly in that still warm soil, grows to about 3 or 4 inches tall before winter hits. Then it just sits there, dormant, waiting. The moment spring arrives and temperatures crack above 40 degrees, that spinach explodes. And I mean exploded. You're harvesting full-size, sweet, tender spinach in March or early April when store-bought spinach is sad, expensive, and tastes like cardboard. Here's the budget-friendly part. 1 packet of spinach seeds costs maybe $3 and gives you enough for multiple plantings. Compare that to those plastic containers of baby spinach at $6 a pop that go bad in 3 days. Plant varieties like Bloomsdale or Winter Giant. Scatter seeds about 2 inches apart in rows, cover lightly, water, and forget about it. Come spring, you'll thank yourself when you're making fresh salads while winter is still hanging around. Vegetable number 3. Now, let's talk about something that sounds fancy but is actually ridiculously easy: shallots. Shallots are like garlic's sophisticated cousin that nobody thinks to plant. Here's why October shallots are brilliant. They're more expensive than onions in the store, sometimes $8 a pound for organic ones. But they grow exactly like garlic. You plant individual bulbs in October. They establish roots, go dormant, then boom. By early summer, 1 shallot bulb becomes a cluster of 6 to 8 new shallots. The math is beautiful. Spend $20 on a pound of seed shallots, plant them 6 inches apart, and by June, you're harvesting enough shallots to last you the entire year. Plus, they store for months in a cool, dry place. Plant them the same way as garlic, about 2 inches deep. They need basically zero maintenance. This is passive gardening that pays off big time. Vegetable number 4. Let's switch gears to something green and gorgeous. Winter lettuce. But we're not talking about wimpy lettuce that dies at the first frost. Arctic King, Winter Density, North Pole. These lettuce varieties are bred to laugh at cold weather. Plant them in October, and here's what happens. They grow steadily through fall, slow down during the coldest months, but they don't die. If you throw a simple row cover or cold frame over them, you're harvesting fresh lettuce all winter long. I'm talking about walking out in January, brushing snow off your cold frame, and cutting fresh lettuce for dinner. The satisfaction is unreal. And financially, a head of organic lettuce in winter costs anywhere from $4 to $6. Growing your own means you're saving money every single time you make a salad. Plant seeds densely, thin them as they grow, and keep harvesting the outer leaves. The plant keeps producing. That's months of fresh greens from one planting session. Vegetable number 5. Here's one that surprises everyone. Fava beans, also called broad beans. Most people think beans are strictly a warm weather crop. Fava beans flip that script completely. These guys are cold hardy champions that you plant in October, and they actually need that cold period to produce well. They'll sit through winter, start growing strong in early spring, and by May, you're harvesting beans when the weather is still too cold for regular green beans. But here's the bonus that makes fava beans genius. They're nitrogen fixers. That means while they're growing, they're actually improving your soil, adding nitrogen that your other plants will love. After you harvest the beans, chop down the plants and till them into the soil. Free fertilizer. Plus, fava beans are expensive at the store and hard to find fresh. Growing them makes you feel like you're running your own specialty produce farm. Plant them 3 inches deep, 6 inches apart. They need support as they grow, so plan for stakes or a simple trellis. Hey, quick pause. If you're finding value in this and you're already planning your October garden, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps more gardeners find this information when they need it. And drop a comment telling me which of these vegetables you're most excited to plant. I read every single comment, and I love hearing what's working in your garden. All right, let's keep going because we're just getting warmed up. Vegetable number 6. Number 6 is kale, but we're going to talk about why October kale is superior to summer kale. Kale planted in October develops in cool weather, which means it never gets bitter. Summer kale can be tough and strong flavored because of the heat. Fall and winter kale, it's tender, sweet, and after a few frosts, it actually tastes better. Frost converts some of the starches to sugars, making it almost buttery. Varieties like Winter Boar, Red Russian, and Lacinato are perfect for October planting. They'll grow through fall, keep producing through winter in most zones, and continue giving you harvests well into spring. One kale plant can produce leaves for 6 to 8 months if you keep harvesting properly. That's insane value from one tiny plant. Plant seeds or transplants about 12 inches apart. Harvest the lower leaves first, and the plant keeps growing upward. I've had single kale plants feed my family for months. At $5 a bunch in stores, growing kale is one of those no-brainer decisions that saves you serious money while giving you better tasting, more nutritious food. Vegetable. Number 7. Let's talk about something that people always forget about. Onion sets for spring harvest. October is perfect for planting onion sets in mild climates, and even in colder zones, you can get away with it if you mulch well. Here's why this matters. Spring-planted onions take forever to size up. October-planted onions? They establish roots, go dormant, then explode with growth in spring. You're pulling full-size onions in May or June, months before anyone else. The variety matters here. Look for sets labeled for fall planting or overwintering varieties. Plant them about 2 inches deep, 4 inches apart. They need basically no care over winter. Come spring, they take off like rockets. And here's a budget tip. Onions store incredibly well. Cure them properly after harvest, and they'll last you 6 months or more. Grow enough in October, and you might not need to buy onions for the entire following year. That adds up fast when you consider how many onions you use in cooking. Vegetable. Number 8. Radishes might seem too simple, but October radishes are a completely different experience. Summer radishes can get woody and overly spicy because of the heat. October radishes grow in perfect conditions. Cool weather, consistent moisture from fall rains, and they size up beautifully without any of that harsh bite. Plus, they're one of the fastest crops you can grow. Plant seeds in October, and you're eating radishes in November. But here's where it gets interesting. Try winter radish varieties like daikon, black Spanish, or watermelon radishes. These aren't your typical salad radishes. They're larger, store well, and have complex flavors that make them perfect for roasting or pickling. A single daikon radish can weigh 2 pounds and costs like $4 at Asian markets. Growing them costs pennies. Plant radish seeds half an inch deep, 2 inches apart. They germinate in days and need almost no maintenance. This is a perfect crop if you're new to fall gardening because success is basically guaranteed. Fast results build confidence for tackling more challenging crops. Vegetable number 9. Arugula is next, and this one's a flavor powerhouse that loves October. Arugula in summer bolts immediately and turns super bitter. October, arugula, it grows slow and steady, developing these beautiful, tender leaves with that perfect peppery flavor. It's what restaurants charge extra for in fancy salads. Here's the money angle. Those plastic boxes of arugula at the store cost about $5 and contain maybe 3 ounces of greens. You can grow pounds of arugula from a single packet of seeds that costs $3. And arugula is a cut-and-come-again crop. You harvest the outer leaves, and the plant keeps producing for months. Plant seeds densely, about an inch apart, in wide rows or beds. You can even broadcast them and rake them in lightly. Water, then start harvesting when leaves are a few inches tall. In mild climates, arugula will produce all winter. In colder zones, it'll give you weeks of harvests before hard frost, then come back strong in spring. This is effortless gardening that tastes expensive. Vegetable. Number 10. Let's get into something hardier, turnips and rutabagas. These root vegetables are criminally underrated, probably because most people have only had them cooked badly. But here's the thing. October-planted turnips and rutabagas develop in cool soil, which makes them sweet instead of bitter. They're also incredibly cold-hardy. Some varieties can handle temperatures down to the low 20s without protection. Turnips are fast, ready in about 50 days. Rutabagas take longer, around 90 days, but they store for months in the ground or in a root cellar. You're essentially creating your own natural cold storage system, and both are incredibly nutritious, packed with vitamins and minerals that are especially valuable during winter. Plant seeds half an inch deep, about 4 inches apart for turnips, 6 inches for rutabagas. They need consistent moisture, but very little else. Come winter, you can mulch them heavily and harvest as needed. Fresh pulled turnips roasted with olive oil and herbs are absolutely delicious. Nothing like the mushy, flavorless things people remember from childhood. Vegetable. Number 11. Parsnips are number 11, and these are special because they actually require October planting to taste right. Parsnips need cold weather to develop their sweetness. They're one of the few vegetables that improve with frost. Plant them in October, and they'll slowly grow through fall and winter. You harvest them in late winter or early spring, after they've been through multiple freeze-thaw cycles. That process converts starches to sugars, making them incredibly sweet and flavorful. Here's why parsnips are worth the wait. They're expensive in stores, often $5 or $6 a pound, and hard to find fresh. Growing them is easy, they just take patience. They're also nutritious and versatile. Roasted parsnips are like candy, and they make incredible soups. Plant seeds half an inch deep in loose, deep soil. Parsnips develop long taproots, so they need good soil depth. They germinate slowly, so don't panic if nothing happens for 2 weeks. Once they're up, they're low maintenance. Mark your rows well because you'll be harvesting them months later when everything else looks dormant. Vegetable. Number 12. Here's number 12, the one I mentioned in the beginning, cabbage transplants. October is ideal for planting cabbage transplants, and this vegetable literally saved my winter grocery budget. Here's why cabbage is brilliant. One plant produces a massive head that can weigh 5 to 10 pounds. Store-bought organic cabbage runs about $3 a pound. A single plant can give you $30 worth of cabbage, and you paid maybe $2 for the transplant. But the real magic is in how long cabbage lasts. Properly stored in a cool place, a head of cabbage stays fresh for months. You can also leave cabbage in the garden with heavy mulch in many zones, and it'll keep growing slowly all winter. By spring, you have enormous heads ready to harvest. Plant transplants about 18 inches apart. They need good soil and consistent water, but they're not fussy. Choose cold hardy varieties like January King, Dedden, or Danish Ballhead. These are bred to handle frost and cold. You're essentially planting a vegetable that grows over winter, stores for months, and feeds you well into spring. That's strategic gardening. Vegetable number 13. Swiss chard is up next, and this is one of the most productive vegetables you can grow in fall. Chard is basically indestructible. Plant it in October, and it'll produce leaves continuously through fall, slow down in winter, then ramp back up in spring. In mild climates, chard produces year-round. Even in cold zones, it survives temperatures in the low 20s and bounces back. Here's what makes chard economical. It's a cut-and-come-again crop that produces for up to 2 years if you don't let it bolt. One packet of seeds gives you dozens of plants, and each plant can produce pounds of leaves over its lifetime. Compare that to buying bunches of chard at $4 or $5 each. Chard is also beautiful. Varieties like Bright Lights have rainbow-colored stems that make your garden look amazing. Plant seeds an inch deep, 6 inches apart. Thin seedlings and eat the thinnings. Harvest outer leaves as needed, and the plant keeps producing from the center. This is low-effort, high-reward gardening at its finest. Vegetable. Number 14. Mache, also called corn salad or lamb's lettuce, is number 14. Most people have never heard of mache, which is exactly why it's on this list. This is an ultra-cold hardy salad green that grows when everything else has given up. It survives under snow, handles hard freezes, and produces tender, nutty-flavored leaves all winter in many climates. Here's the surprising part. Mache is considered gourmet. Fancy restaurants use it in mesclun mixes and charge premium prices. At the store, it's expensive and hard to find fresh. Growing it is incredibly easy. It self-sows readily, so plant it once, and it comes back year after year in the same spot. Scatter seeds over prepared soil in October. Rake them in lightly, and keep moist until germination. That's it. The plants form small rosettes of leaves that you can harvest individually or cut the whole rosette. It regrows from the base. This is one of those secret weapons that makes you look like a gardening genius when you're serving fresh salads in January. Vegetable number 15. Carrots are number 15. And October carrots are sweeter than anything you've ever tasted. Carrots are another crop that improves with cold weather. The frost triggers sugar production as a survival mechanism, making the carrots incredibly sweet. October planted carrots size up slowly through fall, can be mulched heavily and left in the ground all winter, then harvested as needed. Here's what changed my mind about carrots. Fresh dug carrots from your garden taste nothing like store-bought carrots. They're crisp, sweet, and flavorful. Plus, you can grow interesting varieties you'd never find in stores. Purple carrots, yellow carrots, round Parisian carrots. It makes eating vegetables fun. Choose short season or cold hardy varieties like Napoli or Bolero for October planting. Plant seeds 1/4 inch deep in loose soil, thin to 2 inches apart. Keep soil moist for germination. Once established, carrots are low maintenance. Mulch them before hard freezes, and you have fresh carrots available all winter by digging through the mulch. That's garden fresh produce in December. Vegetable number 16. Claytonia, also known as miner's lettuce or winter purslane, is number 16. This is another obscure green that's worth knowing about. Claytonia is native to the western United States and is naturally adapted to growing in cool, wet conditions. It's extremely cold hardy, produces through winter, and has a mild, slightly tangy flavor that's perfect in salads. What makes Claytonia special is how prolific it is. Once established, it self-sows aggressively, coming back year after year. You plant it once in October, and you essentially have a permanent source of winter greens. It also grows in partial shade, making it perfect for spots where other crops struggle. Scatter seeds over soil in October. Press them in lightly and keep moist. The plants form small circular leaves on delicate stems. You harvest by cutting whole stems or picking individual leaves. It's incredibly productive, and because it's so unusual, serving it makes you look like you know secret garden techniques. This is the kind of crop that impresses people. Vegetable number 17. Asian greens are number 17. And this category includes bok choy, mizuna, tatsoi, and mustard greens. These greens thrive in cool weather and actually struggle in summer heat. October is perfect for them. They grow quickly, are cold hardy, and bring amazing flavors and textures to your fall and winter garden. Bok choy adds crunch to stir fries. Mizuna has a mild peppery flavor. Tatsoi forms beautiful rosettes, and mustard greens add spice. Here's the practical side. Asian greens are expensive at the store and often hard to find fresh. A small bunch can cost $4 or $5. Growing them is easy and cheap. One packet of mixed Asian green seeds gives you months of harvests. Plant seeds half an inch deep, thin to 6 inches apart. They grow fast, often ready to harvest in 30 to 40 days. Many varieties are also beautiful, with purple leaves, frilly edges, or unique shapes. They make your fall garden visually interesting while providing constant harvests. This is diversity in your garden that translates to diversity on your plate. Vegetable number 18. Last, but definitely not least. Number 18. Leeks. Leeks are the quiet overachievers of the vegetable garden. Plant transplants or starts in October, and they'll slowly size up through fall and winter. Leeks are incredibly cold hardy, surviving temperatures well below 20 degrees. They just sit there in the garden, getting bigger, waiting for you to harvest them. Here's why leeks are worth it. They're expensive, often $4 or $5 a pound in stores. One leek can weigh a pound or more. Growing a dozen leeks saves you $50 or more, and they add incredible flavor to soups, stews, and braises during the cold months when you need hearty food. Plant transplants about 6 inches deep in trenches, 6 inches apart. As they grow, hill soil up around the stems to blanch them, creating that white tender portion. Leeks need minimal care and can stay in the ground all winter. Harvest as needed. This is one of those crops that makes winter cooking feel abundant instead of limited. All right, garden friend, we just covered 18 vegetables that will completely transform your fall and winter garden. Let's recap what this means for you. You're not just planting vegetables. You're setting up a system that feeds you through winter, saves you hundreds of dollars on groceries, and puts you way ahead for spring. If this video helped you understand why October planting matters and gave you a clear action plan, please hit that like button and drop a comment letting me know what you're planting. I genuinely want to hear about your garden plans. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We drop seasonal guides like this exactly when you need them, and you don't want to miss those critical planting windows. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm excited for your fall garden, and I can't wait to hear about your harvests. Get out there, get those vegetables in the ground, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy gardening.